Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy King Prado, and for today's video, we will talk about the story behind the 1989 Exxon Valdez oil spill. So sa video na ito guys, ay ating tatalakayin ang naging history ng pangyayaring ito, pati na rin ang naging cause and its effects to the economy, to the environment at iba pa. At talakayin na rin natin yung mga nabuong conventions at mga batas para maiwasang maulit-ulit ang mga pangyayaring ito. Yun nga guys, tune in and let's get started. Petroleum and its byproducts become a major threat to the marine environment in the last 2 centuries. But don't get me wrong guys, in fact, the discovery of oil helped mankind to prosper and achieve momentous feats and innovations. At alam niyo ba guys, that most of the shipping transactions is being transported through ships. Yes guys, in fact, 90% of the shipping transactions happening worldwide is being carried out by ships or vessels. A good example would be yung mga binibili niyo sa Shopee o yung mga cash out niyo sa Lazada, ganun. Karamihan yan, yung mga packages na yan is mga barko talaga nag-deliver, which is manned by our seafarers. Tapos sasabihan nyo lang kami si Manloloko. Kidding aside guys, alam niyo ba na meron tayong iba't ibang type ng vessels or ships in the maritime industry? Example nga dyan is yung mga container ships natin. Yan, sila yung mga nagtransport na makikita nyo mga containers. We also have bulk carriers. Ayan. Sila naman ay magtra-transport ng mga grain or coal, ganun. Yung mga example ng dinadala ng mga bulk carrier. And of course, there are cruise ships. Yan, para sa mga tourists natin, sa mga mahilig magbakasyon dyan. At marami pang iba. Pero ang pag-uusapan natin na MV Exxon Valdez sa video na ito is an example of a tanker vessel. According sa aking research, it is said that the spillages of oil from accidents from tankers and oil rigs have polluted our seas as well as oceans and badly affected the marine ecosystem. On the evening of March 23, 1989, Exxon Valdez left the port of Valdez, Alaska, bound for Long Beach, California, with 53 million gallons of Prado crude oil on board. The Exxon Valdez oil spill was a man-made disaster that occurred when MV Exxon Valdez, an oil tanker owned by Exxon Shipping Company, spilled almost 11 million gallons of crude oil into Alaska's Prince William Sound on March 24, 1989. At the time, it was the worst oil spill in US history until the Deepwater Horizon oil spill in 2010. So yun nga guys, initial attempts to contain the oil failed. And in the months that follow, the oil slick spread, covering about 1,300 miles of the coastline. With the oil slick that covered 1,300 miles of the coastline, it killed hundreds of thousands of seabirds, otters, seals, and whales. And nearly 30 years later, the pockets of crude oil remain in some locations. The oil spill had killed an estimated 40% of all sea creatures living in the sound. The sea otter population didn't recover from its pre-spill levels until 2014, 25 years after the oil spill. And this oil spill guys also affected the economy of fisheries within the Prince William Sound. Fishermen went bankrupt and the economies of small shoreline towns including Valdez and Cordova suffered in the following years. Some reports estimated that the total economic loss from the Exxon Valdez is about as much as $2.8 million. Isipin nyo yun guys, mula sa napakaliit na oil spill, napakalaki na naging pinsala nito. So yun nga, nakita natin kung gaano katindi ang naging epekto ng oil spill na ito sa ekonomiya at pati na rin sa environment. Pero ano nga ba ang cause nito? Ano nga ba ang pulot dulo ng trahedyang ito? Investigators later learned that Joseph Hazelwood, the captain of Exxon Valdez had been drinking at the time and had allowed an unlicensed third mate to steer the massive ship. In March 1990, Hazelwood was acquitted of felony charges. He was convicted of a single charge of misdemeanor negligence, fined $50,000, and ordered to perform 1,000 hours of community service. You heard it right, guys. Ang isa sa tinuturing na pinakamalalang oil spill sa US ay nangyari dahil ang kapitan or the captain of the ship is under the influence of alcohol. He also let a unlicensed third mate to steer the ship. So yun nga, hindi natin alam kung meron bang experience tong third mate na ito sa pag-i-steer ng barko. Siguro dahil na rin sa influensya ng alcohol or gusto lang talaga ni Hazelwood na mag-good time kaya pinayagan na niya yung third mate na mag-steer ng barko. International Convention on Oil Pollution, Preparedness, Response, and Cooperation or OPRC. In July 1989, a conference of leading industrial nations in Paris called upon IMO to develop further measures to prevent pollution from ships. Adoption, November 30, 1990. Entry force, May 13, 1995. Within this convention ay nangyari ay na-require na dito na every ship or every vessel should carry a oil pollution emergency plan. Ships are also required to report incident of pollution to the coastal authorities. Part din dito sa 1990 na convention na ito ay yung pag-sign sa pagkakaroon ng double hull ng mga barko. Meron na rin tayo mga bansa na hindi nagpapapasok ng mga barko na hindi naka-double hull. Ang example na nga nito ay yung European Union na nag-ban ng mga single-hull tankers in 2002. After the spill, Exxon Valdez returned to service under a different name, operating for more than 2 decades as an oil tanker and or carrier. Kaya naman sa mga aspiring seafarers katulad ko, ay siguraduhin nating alam natin yung mga amendments, convention, call regs, at iba pang importanteng bagay upang maiwasan ang mga insidente katulad nitong Exxon Valdez oil spill. Hindi masama magkaroon ng entertainment lalo't given na minsan nga napakalungkot nga ng buhay sa barko at napakalumbay. But always remember our limitations and responsibilities as professionals. Keep in mind that in this profession, the safety of the crew, cargo, ship, and the marine environment is our priority. So that's all for this video, guys. At sana marami kayong natutunan. Ingat kayo lahat. Cadet Prado. Peace.
On you?